Welcome to Bullet Point. We are your host. I'm EP.
I'm JM.
Every week we are going to talk about competitive shooting and everything around it.
So, if you are a hardcore enthusiast or a shooter or simply a beginner, this is the show for you.
You can easily connect with us through PHLV Radio Facebook page, Bullet Point Facebook page, or simply email us at bulletpointmediaproduction@gmail.com.
Also, do not forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel so you can get the latest episodes of Bullet Point. Are you ready? Stand by.
All right, JM, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, bro!
It's 2025,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Finally. All right, I think we have a very good topic tonight.
Yes.
All right,
yes,
so
absolutely.
You know, the topic, we've been talking about this. So what's a nice topic to start with this new year?
I know,
right?
I know. So, before we dive into that, EP,
Yeah.
Happy New Year to our subscribers and viewers. Just wanted
New Year.
to, from me and EP, we wanted to thank you guys for following us and watching our show. And we hope to continue to bring in some good, hopefully you'll be able to digest some of the stuff that we talk about.
Of course, and any suggestions, we're open to it.
Yes.
You know, topic that you would want us to talk about,
Yep.
we're definitely open to it.
Yep.
You know, bring it our way.
That's right. That's right. So for 2025, I hope as shooters you're able to kind of map out what you wanted to do for this year. And some of the matches that you're going to be attending. But a good foundation of that and good preparation of that is our topic for tonight.
Of course, this is very essential. In fact, mastering precision, the power of dry fire training.
That's right. Yes.
Dry fire.
Yes. Yes.
Jam, did you know that 90% of professional marksmen, they credit dry fire practice as one of, meaning the cornerstone of their success. What do you think about it?
I believe that. Well, dry firing, basically, it's one of the tasks that you really want to get it dialed down when you take up this practical shooting sport. It's a daily routine. You can make it daily, or you can do it every other day. Basically you have to get your routine set.
Yeah. And honestly, when I was beginning, I didn't even believe about in dry fire.
Yeah, a lot of the previous shooters that when I started, one of the advices is dry fire.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, well,
what is that?
Right? So it's all about muscle memory.
Exactly.
Finding the time in between your daily routine to get that in is also a key.
Exactly. And I was because I don't know anything about dry fire, I just keep on hearing that.
Yeah.
I started looking in YouTube, what is dry fire, who do I follow? I used to the first person I think that I followed was Vogel.
Yeah.
So it was good at it. And then today, JJ Rakasa is good to follow too as well.
Yep. Tom Castro. Joey Sauerland. Those are
I
good.
was just looking at Joey Sauerland's video.
Yeah.
He's so good about that. He ran so fast. His regimen is just awesome. And those are the people that you guys would want to follow to just to understand dry fire. But just getting back to the topic, JM, what is dry fire?
Yeah, what is dry fire, right? So this is basically a practice or simulation by pulling the trigger on an unloaded firearm. Make sure, again, let's rewind this for a second before we dive into this. Safety is number one here. So you have to be proficient on doing your dry fire and in a safe manner, away from people. Yeah, you don't want to do that. And also obviously no live rounds.
Oh, definitely. It's don't make that mistake, guys. So you focus on your grip, you focus on your trigger, you focus on sight alignment, without actually firing a live bullet.
Right. Right.
So that's what dry fire is. Basically, it's an exercise that you do with your gun, getting familiar how you use it, how to get your index right, etc. Right? So that is definitely what dry fire is all about. But why do you think is dry fire essential?
For me personally, it's pretty essential because you have the right muscle memory.
Yeah.
And it correlates to the actual match itself.
Yeah.
What I meant by that is your draw, your make ready routine.
Yes.
Sight picture, sight alignment, or dot placement.
Trigger control.
Trigger control, reloads. So there's a lot of aspects that carries over where dry fire helps in a real match.
In fact, really, what you were saying, muscle memory, really. As if like you're doing it in the real scenario, but not. Right? So without expending ammunition. And without expending an ammunition, it's cost effective too.
It is. It's free.
It's free.
Yeah.
Just a free way on how to refine your technique, by all of this repetition. And again, you were telling me, you're telling us a while ago, you have, the number of times that you want to do it in a day, in a week, or that depends on you.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So ultimately, the goal of this one, guys, is dry fire is essential for you to be able to improve your performance in a competition scenario.
Yes.
Right? So that's very good. So if you guys don't have dry fire yet, you're not doing it yet, you might want to start looking into it, So again, we were talking about cost a while ago.
Right. Cost. This is free.
It's free.
Right. It's free. Although there are some dry fire aids that we're gonna dive into later on, but ultimately it's free. It's your firearm, your magazine.
You're practicing without a cost.
Yeah. So you can do that, daily if you want to.
And another key point too on dry fire, JM, is you focus on your technique.
Yes.
Right. So by removing the recoil element, because when you do it with the live ammunition, there's a recoil there.
There's still a recoil.
But of course here, because you're not using this live ammo, you're gonna have to remove that recoil element by this dry firing. But it allows you to learn your grip, your sight alignment, your trigger press, how fast you would want to do the trigger press, or just hold the trigger, which is actually very critical to your accuracy and your speed. So what other key points do we have in dry firing?
There's you have your imaginary fault lines if you if you want to consider that. Also your holster, your draw. This is a good time also to make sure that if you're practicing on reloads, I see a lot of people, like, it's funny because they put like a pillow or something soft when they do practice
remove
reload.
The reload.
so the base doesn't hit the floor.
The hard floor. That's right. Yeah, I do that too. We have, but I use what do you call this? A stuffed toy. Just kidding. Again, for preparation on this one would be drill versatility.
Yeah.
Because in a real competition, there's a lot of complex movement drills. And target transition. I was watching Joey Sauerland, how he does his transition on dry fire. Oh my God, that's so good. The rapid fire sequences.
Right.
You can actually all practice this during dry fire.
Yes.
And this is actually not going to be possible on the range.
Right.
Because you're going to be using it in live ammunition. Because in the range is the application of
From
your
the dry
fire.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Another key points maybe is there mental preparation here?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
It plays a big part on the mental preparation, right? Especially when you're make ready, and you're just imagining the courses of fire.
Oh, definitely.
And then obviously your sight picture, sight alignment. That's part of that mental process.
Focus, right?
Yeah, that mental focus.
Yeah, and that mental focus actually improves your ability to perform what you call the under pressure during competition.
Yeah. Yep.
Because there's a lot of, in shooting, guys, it's not just shooting. 90% maybe is all mental.
Right. Correct.
So and of course you'll be able to identify your weakness during dry fire.
Yeah, you can course correct that.
Yes.
Right. So if you're slow on the reload, you can speed that up. You can keep practicing and practicing.
Exactly.
So it does help identify these kind of weaker points, or I would say, you know, some of the challenging areas.
Yeah.
Not just reload, but you know, the strong hand, weak hand, those
Yeah.
kind of scenarios, right?
In fact, that one you have to do that dry fire every now and then,
Yeah.
especially the weak hand,
Right.
right? The techniques that you need to improve and focus training, you know, this goes hand in hand when you do your dry fire. That's great, you know. And for dry fire practice, there are techniques and tools that you can actually use to have an effective dry fire.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, there's a lot out there in the market now. You know, before it didn't really progress a lot. This is just more of a personal choice to do the dry fire.
Okay.
You know, but there's a lot of tools now, effective dry firing tools out there in the market.
Yeah, you just have to go out there and Google it or YouTube it, right?
Yeah.
But for me, dry fire techniques, JM,
Yeah.
this actually, maybe one of them is one of the most important thing is trigger control drills. You know, how you actually control your trigger. In fact, whenever I watch you, I tell you, how do you do that? I just can't do it, you know? It needs a lot of dry fire practices, I bet, right?
Yes, yes.
So there's what you call a slow squeeze.
Right.
You know, so when you do slow squeeze, guys, you focus on smoothly pressing the trigger without disturbing your aim. You know, you pay close attention to finger placement and the trigger travel.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you know, what you do is, you know, for beginners, they don't know how to put their fingers on the trigger.
Indexing the trigger shoe, right?
Exactly.
Where do you normally place yours?
At the tip of my
Tip?
finger, yeah.
I usually do in the middle.
In the middle?
Yeah.
For me, I don't know why. I couldn't control it really in the middle.
Yeah.
Sometimes my gun moves a lot. I don't know if I'm exaggerating it.
Yeah.
But what I found out is the tip is more effective to me.
Yeah.
But again, guys, to each his own. I mean,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
we're all different. Whatever works.
Right.
And that's what you focus in. That's what you call, another one is the trigger reset practice.
Yeah.
The walling.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
practice, you have to quickly and smoothly reset the trigger.
Right.
You might want to know your gun.
Exactly. And what EP was, you know, wanted to dive deeper on that one is on the double taps, right?
The double taps, yeah.
So the secondary shot.
Yeah.
So you already got the first shot out, but you have to hit it the second time around, since that's what the essence of the scoring is, right? Two hits per paper, or one hit per steal. But you have to be able to reset that and know where that wall and that click is to get to the second shot or squeezing the second shot.
Well, another one aside from the trigger would be the presentation drill. How you're going to be presenting the gun.
Yes.
Right? So from the holster draw, you know, you would want, I don't know if you guys practice you're drawing your firearm from a holster with the proper grip and presentation. So basically, guys, when you do your practice for your draw, just the draw first before you do the presentation, you know, and then you're gradually increasing the speed.
Right.
You know, it's not all speed in the beginning. It's just what you call it, the muscle memory, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you have to know where to get. Oh my God, guys! And when in the beginning, my hand was all over the place. You know, my hand goes to the what do you call this? To the hammer,
Right.
the base, in the magwell.
I just wanted to make sure, you know, when I started shooting competitive, I just want to make sure I didn't drop the gun
That's true.
when
That's
you're picking it up,
true.
because essentially now you have your foundation. Let's just say you have your foundation,
Yeah.
and then you wanted to go fast, right? And I'm just scared to drop that gun. Right.
And it happens.
Yes, it does.
happens,
We've
guys.
seen it. Even not just beginners,
Even
professionals.
professionals.
Yeah.
It happens, guys. You know, so that's the reason why practice drawing, you know, positioning your hand,
Right.
how you're going to be getting the gun with the proper grip. Not just getting the gun. The grip should be actually correct and precise, because it's all about the grip.
Right.
You know, if you draw the gun and present it with the wrong grip, you lose it.
right?
You know,
right.
so
Everything's off balance.
exactly, it's off balance, and then you start slow. You start slow, draw, and then
Gradually
presenting,
increase it.
and then you gradually increase it, right? So there's another thing that's holster draw. There's another term They call it the breakdown draw, where you actually deliberately break down the draw into steps, like the grip acquisition, the rotation, and then extend it. The rotation is your gun presenting it, right?
Right.
And then extend, and then press the trigger to analyze and refine each movement.
Right.
Do you do that?
So this is a very good step on what EP has just mentioned. Because it creates a good baseline,
Yes.
for perfecting your dry fire, right? So I've done it before. I just like repetitively just grip the gun, 100, 150, 200
Yes.
times, right? And then now you got that all squared away. You move on to the next step, right? Whether it's target acquisition or extending or presentation is what EP was mentioning. You do that multiple times, hundreds of times.
Until you refine each movement.
Correct.
You may not, in the beginning, you may not like it because, especially if you've been shooting already and then you enter to competitive shooting, you might even think that's not necessary.
Right.
But it is.
It is. It is.
So it actually is, and it will make a lot of difference. Another key on dry fire techniques, JM, is the movement and positioning drills.
Yes.
All right. So now you already practice the what do you call it? The draw and the presentation.
Yeah.
Now you go to the movement.
Right. Movement means either you're sitting, kneeling, or prone position. Again, you're going to hear us referencing dry fire as one of the key factors for success in this competition shooting.
Yes.
But you might want to practice some of these drills. And when we say drills, it's the shooting, kneeling positions, sitting, even the what I mentioned earlier, the strong hand weekend. Because,
that's very important.
Because you will encounter courses of fire that are designed to do that.
Yeah, and these are what you call real world scenarios. That's going to be the course of fire that you're going to be doing in the future, right? So another one in movement and positioning skills would be the target transitions.
Yeah.
This is hard.
Yeah.
You may watch it as if like, this is not like movies that you just, just shoot it like that. In real world scenario, it doesn't happen like that, So the target transition from point A to point B, the practice quickly transitioning between those points and on a multiple targets.
Yes.
At different distances.
My wall in my reloading room has a lot of those little targets.
That's right.
And that's when I practice the multiple multiple targets and just transitions.
Yeah, that's hard. You just don't know how when you transition, you lose it. It's not easy. It may be easy when you watch it, but when you start doing it, that's why a lot of practice on target transition is very important.
Yeah.
Right? And again, you were mentioning about the fault line drills a while ago.
Yeah.
That's one of the movement and positioning skills, right?
Yeah. This imaginary fault line. When I dry fire, I kind of step left, hard lean,
That is so true. You have to really do it as if you are doing it in the range.
Right.
So that's what you call the fault line drills. Wow. So you were mentioning today, Jim, about essential dry fire tools.
Yes.
What do you suggest?
So aside from what we mentioned, folks, aside from your firearm, a timer does help.
Oh yeah,
it's an essential. You have to have a timer, and then an empty magazine. But nowadays, there's a lot of stuff on the internet now that you can purchase that helps and aids these dry fire routines. For the first one is the dry fire snap caps.
Yeah.
So it doesn't wear out on your firing pin. These help. These are you can buy them in Amazon for like $8. $8. And load them in your magazine. Just make sure you remove them before you go to your competition.
I remember that there was an instance somebody got DQ'd because of that. They forgot to remove it.
Yes.
That's well, it could happen to anybody.
Right.
It can happen to anybody.
Yes.
So this is what you call the occluding cover.
Yes. This is probably, I've seen this. I don't do this.
Okay.
I've seen a couple shooters occlude the cover for their optics, and then they cover the front.
Okay.
But the dot is still on.
Okay.
So they just kind of overimpose on the target. And I've seen them do it in matches.
Yeah.
I've seen him
really?
do it in matches.
Really?
Yeah, in local matches. I've seen him do in level 2 and level 3 matches.
Wow.
Yeah. So they cover the red dot is covered.
Yeah.
It blocks from the vision, but they're still hitting it. They're hitting the targets.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, to each his own. Right. So.
Right.
You were mentioning about the dummy mag and the rounds.
So I bought mine. I don't know if you have one. It's from Double Alpha.
Yeah, Double Alpha.
It's the magazine, right? It's the dummy mag, and it's weighted, right? It's heavy. It simulates a full magazine on your firearm. So that does help, because when you dry fire with an empty mag, obviously your firearm is light.
It's light. Yeah.
So you want to simulate it with a full magazine.
Oh, and there's a huge difference between that.
Yes.
That's why you want to practice that heavy weighted magazine. Very good.
Yeah.
And then of course the grip assist device.
Yeah, the grip assist device, sometimes I've seen folks come up with an interesting concept where they just, it's a grip of a firearm. Mm-hmm. But it's different, whatever you shoot, the different brand you shoot, and then you just squeeze. There's some tension and.
I've seen that.
Right, there's some tension tabs, and you can squeeze them.
Yeah, you feel the trigger.
I just use the grip from a local sporting store with
the grip one.
Yeah, the grip. That's it. Yeah. Or I turn it upside down.
Okay.
And then that's when I.
Oh, that's right. You can do that. Now I know your secret. Now I know how to do it.
It's upside down, not the letter A, right?
It's V.
It's the V. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Some also uses this laser training aids.
Right.
Have you used that before?
I've seen them. I haven't used any of those kind of aids.
If you guys would want to check it out.
I mean,
right?
if they got more money than.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's laser. You attach a laser to your firearm.
Right.
And then
I've seen them do the cartridge too, so it simulates the blowback of your firearm itself.
Well, there's a lot. Again, there's a lot of tools out there that you can use. And then, of course, you don't forget to have this dedicated dry fire targets.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
the paper targets. I use the small ones.
Yeah, you can buy them online.
Different sizes.
There's different sizes, different presentations. There's tuxedos and partial targets. There's even plate racks.
I didn't see that yet.
Yeah.
Really?
There's small plate rack.
I would like to see that.
Like for kids or
really?
like doll houses.
Oh my God. Well, because plate racks is sometimes you encounter that.
Right. So the one good thing about the dry fire targets that we use is they come in different sizes. It relates to the distances.
Oh yeah, because if you have the smaller one, it means that
it's small.
It's far, right?
Right.
So, and then this actually, guys, simulates different shooting scenarios. That's what Jim was trying to say. Mm-hmm. That's why, of course, if you're in a very small room, obviously you cannot just go far and use these big targets.
Right.
So that's why you need all these small ones here.
Right.
One of our friend Brian, has this VR system.
Yes,
that was cool.
It's like a game, right? I spent hours and hours playing that. I've met those guys.
Oh, really?
Yes, the Ace virtual systems.
Okay,
so it is a
you use the virtual reality.
Right.
You can buy it in Best Buy.
The old age in me is I get dizzy on virtual reality games.
So. Me too.
I can't handle more than 5 minutes out of it.
Oh, really?
But it's I see people online doing it.
Do you think it can help?
It does, because there are some classifiers in there that that's also the same classifiers we use, and some of the top shooters use it.
Oh, so it means that it's gonna work. Well, again, guys, you might want to look at it again, right? So these are VR systems,
right?
And then of course there are some dry fire training apps out there, that can provide visual feedback, or there's time drills, scoring to track progress.
Yes,
there are tools like that.
Some of the timers now that that came out maybe a couple years ago or so have developed and keep developing some of these. What do you call that? It's more of a for dry fire. You can track all of your progress.
Oh, that's a nice one, right?
Yeah, like the Shooters Global.
Yeah, I've seen that from one of our friends.
You can do dry firing, and it hits the microphone picks up the hammer.
It's very sensitive that even dry fire it can actually pick up.
Right.
I've seen that to one of our friends, Chucky.
Yes,
he has that.
Used that.
That's very good.
He used that.
Yeah. So, and of course, if you're traditional. You can just go buy books that talks about dry fire.
Even if you get a chance to attend some of the classes from your favorite top shooters, they're going to talk about dry fire. They're going to talk about 100%.
There's a lot of them in YouTube. You just have to be diligent enough to see and look for this techniques and tools that will help you and aid you into your shooting competition.
Right.
So again, there are not just dry fire. You have to make sure that there are some important considerations when you do dry fire.
Yeah.
You mentioned this, very important. Even in every show that we have, we always talk about safety first.
Right.
So always practice dry fire in a safe direction with a clear backstop.
Yes.
As much as possible, right?
That's correct. Another thing to add, the way we look at dry fire, or the way, at least in my point of view, dry firing is, if you're going to take a test, an exam, you're going to want to review.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to take the test, which, the test is the courses of fire.
Exactly.
You don't want to take the test without reviewing, right?
And dry fire.
So dry fire would be your review.
That's a good one. That's a good thing.
For your exam, and you see a lot of, especially like level 2, level 3 matches, when you go to the safety table, you see some shooters kind of, last minute routine.
Yes.
I'm 100% sure that morning before they fire their first shot, they've dry fired in their hotels.
Yeah,
they dry fired the night before.
Yeah, they do.
So again,
we all do.
Yeah, we all do.
And that's going to be part of your regular practice.
Yeah.
Consistent dry fire sessions. These are really the key to improving your shooting skills.
Yeah.
My shooting skills really improved just because of dry fire.
Yeah.
And I did not need to spend a lot of money just because,
Right.
Again, your examination is your course of fire.
Right.
Your review session is your dry fire.
That's
a good one. I love it.
You like that, huh?
Oh my God! I learned something again from you, JM. Progressive difficulty. When you do your dry fire, sometimes, of course, that's what we were talking about a while ago. You start slow and then you gradually increase the speed.
Yep.
Now here you gradually increase the complexity of your drills.
Yes.
Maybe you're just standing stationary. Now you start moving left and right. And then you start running.
Right. Well, you want to have space.
Oh, definitely.
That space is a good, good
Where do you do
indicator, right? Backyard.
That's true.
I wear my shoes and then we dry fire in the backyard.
Yeah.
Or even the garage.
Yeah.
Garage works if there's if outdoors isn't available or accessible.
Yeah.
You can do it in your or living room. Another one. Right.
But of course, those are important considerations when you do your dry fire.
Yeah.
And focus on fundamentals. Always go back to basics, guys.
Yeah.
Prioritize your proper grip. When you do your what do you call this? When you start getting, doing your dry fire, you look at where your hand is landing when you do get your gun. The grip. is it a proper grip? You know, and then of course, once you do the grip, again, we talk about presentation, but when you present it, is the side aligned?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So,
right.
and then after you see that it's aligned, now the trigger control.
Squeeze it. Yep.
You know, that's what dry fire is all about.
Yeah.
You know. So, what do you do? What's your dry fire? How do you do your dry fire? What's your regimen?
It's usually in the afternoons where I have some a little bit of time.
Okay.
But you know, my dry fire is only like half hour.
30 minutes.
Half hour, 40 minutes. But you can create your own based on your own schedule, folks. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to overcomplicate.
Yeah.
Dry firing, as what EP said. Go back to basics. That's the essence of the dry fires. Always going back to the basics, and going back to the drawing boards and being able to troubleshoot what you need to troubleshoot. And when you come out there, you'll be able to execute your plan. So don't overcomplicate. And you don't have to spend an hour. Sometimes I've seen shooters an hour and a half.
Yeah.
For dry
the
fire,
thing here is consistency.
Right.
If you do 15 minutes
Right.
every day,
Exactly.
that's a good one, right?
Yes. So in my routine, it's half hour every day.
Yeah. There you go.
Sometimes if I have some, time in the morning before we head out to the match, I'll do
Dry
a quick
fire again.
5 minutes, just body check
Exactly.
everything.
So there are a lot of YouTube material
Yes.
that talks about dry fire.
Right.
And you just want to make sure that you go out there and look for it.
Yeah.
And just make sure you when you look at it, choose to copy what is effective or what is according to your body needs.
Yeah.
Because we all have different body structure and
Right.
flexibility.
Right.
So you want to make sure, and then you start in maybe 1, 2, or 3 dry fire
Yep.
regimen,
Yep.
and then you go from there.
Right.
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 So again, the benefit of dry fire, if we just want to talk about it again, JM, of course, what do you get out of it? Improves accuracy.
Yep, that's right. That's right. That's the essence of our sport, right? Improving accuracy is hitting those is the sight picture, sight alignment, and the target all aligns to your vision.
Exactly.
That's the question.
And then, of course, benefit of dry fire, cost effective.
Yes, it's cheap.
You sign me up. It's free, that's what you said, right?
Right.
Because there's no ammunition cost.
That's right.
And then you can practice anywhere, like backyard, your garage, your living room,
Right.
anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. Obviously, the anywhere, anytime means within your
Schedule.
schedule and your surroundings,
Of
right?
course.
You're not going to. Please don't dry fire in a parking lot of a
that's right.
Costco. Don't do that.
can't
We're
do
not saying to do that, okay?
Yeah,
So
definitely. So builds the muscle memory.
Yes.
You were talking about that a while ago. That's very important.
That's
Yeah.
very, very important.
Yeah. So, of course, the repetition of doing that in dry fire, it actually hones your fundamental skills. That's what
Yes.
we're talking about, right? And then, again, the Costco thing,
Yep.
safe environment.
Safe environment. Make sure you don't scare your neighbors away. They
Yeah.
hear that timer and they hear that clicking of the trigger.
Correct.
And just do it privately.
And
that's
then,
it. you know.
that's just learning without the risk of live
Yeah.
errors.
Yeah.
That's a good one. JM, I would love to share to our viewers maybe a good example of what we're talking about.
Yes.
What are you guys talking about? What is dry fire, right?
Right,
Maybe we
right.
can show a short video
From our good friend
yeah.
Eric.
Yeah, it's a 9-time world champion. Oh my God, this guy is so good, man. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this one,
Yep.
guys. Okay, so let's learn from Eric.
Hey, I'm Eric Rafael from Team OutScore. In these quarantine files, I'm going to show you how I practice my draw in order to stay sharp for competition. As you all know, back here in Europe, quarantine is pretty bad. No access to shooting range. We can't shoot. We can't practice. So what's left is only about dry fire. The draw is an important skill. A lot of people are putting a lot into their time for the draw. I'm not into much that motion. I'm more into the quality of the technique and the draw. And if it takes a second, it's fine. If it's sub 1, fantastic. If it's 1.2, 1.3, 1.5, it's the first shot. Most of the competition is not about one round, but it's about 8, 9 plus 32 or more. Why not? So I think the skills here, what is important is the movement, the quality of your movement. So basically, what I'm working on it is getting my my drill in this way, going up and down, getting my hand onto the gun, while my weekend is positioning around the belt, stomach level. At that moment, I'll draw the gun, get to the contact point, and from there to the final destination, I'm gonna go straight in line with a slight rotation of the gun towards the target. When the front sight is entering the target, at that point, I'm placing my finger on the trigger. And there we go. Alright? So let's do it slowly. It goes like this. Point 1, 2, 3, a long 3 and 4. And I'm ready to fire. Alright? So, the main thing for me, once again, is not the overall time, but I need to be there on the target as quick as possible. Then, based on the distance, difficulty of the shot, how I present the gun onto the target, it will take a certain amount of time for pressing that trigger and aiming the target. So basically, I want to get as quick as possible onto the target and just take my time to take the first shot and also necessarily the other shots afterward. So it goes like that. There you go. One more time. There you go. One more. That's it. Alright, that's it guys. Well, thank you for tuning in and thank you for watching Team Amscore and those quarantine files. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you soon on the range. Cheers!
Wow. That was it, right?
Yes.
See?
A lot of great tips there.
from there. And in fact, that's one of those dry fire drills that I started watching.
Yeah,
you know, and of course, that's Eric Graffel.
Yeah.
Who else, right?
You know.
So, guys, I hope you learned something there. You know, just make sure that you do your dry fire regularly. And again, just to recap, you know, it's essential for improving your position. Saving money, sign me up for that.
Yeah.
And of course, it actually builds confidence for you.
Yes. It's the same thing as when you ride a bike, right?
Yeah.
At first, it's hard. You know, there's no muscle memory, there's no routine, but it definitely helps. Your practical shooting approach. So you're gonna hear that dry fire a lot, especially our schedules.
Yeah.
It plays a big part of that, right? So even from what you mentioned, just 10 minutes out of your day before you hop in the shower, before you go to work, you're able to kind of do
that will make a lot of difference,
right? But the most important thing here, what EP mentioned, is consistency.
Correct.
And accept that it's part of your routine. It's like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. That's part of your daily daily regimen, that you wanted to incorporate that in your life now.
And then with the right techniques, right? And the key here is commitment. You have to commit, really. And then whoever does that, you can actually get to see a very measurable result.
Yes.
I did. You did.
Yes. You'll see a lot of positive results out of that.
Again, what you were saying, 10 minutes a day?
Yeah, 10
Maybe
minutes
we
is all
can
it
actually
takes.
challenge you guys.
Yeah.
Dry fire 10 minutes every day for the next 30 days.
Yeah.
Come back to us and see if you actually improved.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great challenge. So yes, we challenge you out there. Start your routine, especially 2025. This is a great time to start your dry fire routine. As we get into the warmer months, matches will start coming in, level 2, level 3 matches. So use this, what we say, especially with the East Coast folks, wintertime, this down season, we're still in the down season. to use this as a proper way to train.
Of course. Now, I hope you guys learned something tonight, right? So, just to leave you something here, amateurs practice until they get it right. Professionals practice until they can't get it wrong.
Well said. Well said.
All right, guys. I hope you guys learned something tonight. Again, my name is EP.
I'm JM.
Until our next episode, we're signing off.